Hi, and welcome to Reading Time with the Children's Bible in 365 Stories. Our last time we finished up story 8, and we had Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their 3 wives, and 2 of all the animals in an ark. And the rain had come, and it had rained for 6 weeks straight, and they could no longer see land. All they saw was rain and water, and we're starting to wonder if God had forgotten about them. Today we pick up on story 9, which continues where that story left off. It's entitled A New Beginning, and you can find it in Genesis chapter 8, the first book found in the Bible. Let us begin. When at last the rain stopped, Noah heard a strong wind blowing. He was glad to hear it whistling around the ark, for he knew that it would help to dry the ground. Gradually the water sank lower, and the ark that had floated and drifted helplessly for so many days grunted and groaned and ground to a halt on the mountains of Ararat. How good it was to be steady and firm on land again, Noah thought to himself, but still they could not venture out of their hiding place. Today, we're not sure where Ararat is, and there's many people who have tried to find it looking for the actual ark. There's even a museum centered around the ark. I'm not sure where it is. I just know that there is a new museum focused on the ark and the story of the flood. What's interesting is you can go to any part of the world, and if you go back into their oldest histories, there's a story of a great flood that took place. So here they are on the side of a mountain. They finally come down to land. The wind has been blowing to dry things up. They're finally getting a sense that maybe there's a new beginning, a new future that's going to happen for their life, for all the animals, for everything. Let us continue. Noah waited patiently for 6 more long weeks. So it rained for 6 weeks, and now they waited in the ark for 6 more weeks because of all the water. Then he released a raven, which is a bird. In fact, it's a very, very smart bird, to see if there was land to settle on. The raven was so glad to be free that he stayed circling the air, waiting for the treetops to reappear. Then Noah set free a dove, but by night time she had come back home to her master and the familiar ark, which means the dove didn't find any sufficient place to go and make a new home from, so she came back to the ark. Noah gently took her inside, waited another week, and sent her off again. This time, she flew back with an olive leaf in her beak. How excited everyone was to see something green and growing once more. Think about that. 13 weeks inside of a small little boat. Many of us have been quarantined in our home for around that amount of time too, but for a lot of us, our homes are way bigger than the boat. Or we could at least go outside in our yard or walk around the neighborhood, whereas they were trapped in the boat on water with nowhere to go. That's a long time in a boat filled with all those animals. Noah waited patiently for another week, then sent the dove off for a third time. She did not come back. That means that the dove must have found a new place to make a home and must have found plenty of food to eat, which means the water had significantly disappeared and things were growing again, and it was a new start for things. Noah took off the huge covering roof of the ark, letting in a stream of welcome daylight. Then God spoke to Noah. God said, "Go out of the ark, all of you. The flood is over." And there's a picture of the animals and the people coming out of the ark back into the world that has been made new with fresh plants after all of that rain, and all of that drying up. And now They have a chance of starting all over. They probably will use the ark as a home for a while, or parts of the ark to build a new home. But now they have to build a whole new home because the water has changed everything, and they will figure out how to plant crops all over again, and they'll have to do all kinds of things all over again. But they're safe, and God is pleased because the amount of bad things that was happening has been wiped out, and it's a fresh start, a new beginning for them all over again. And again, as I said before, that's why in the New Testament it attaches baptism to this flood as a new beginning, that in our baptism, God is wiping away all of our sin and giving us a fresh start as a new creature with the Spirit of God in us in our baptism to help guide us to draw closer to God, to learn to love one another more fully. And here it is a new beginning. They're starting all over with all aspects of their life, safe on a newly redone land because of that flood and the drying up of the water. Well, thanks. We'll read story 10 real soon.